Okay. Hi guys.
I'm going.
Um, yeah. What were the names of the players that we're gonna be seeing?
Yeah, first up, we have Slatty coming in representing the University of Colorado, going up against Yosei Fu from Mississippi State University.
Hmm. Yosefu and Salati. I don't
Yep.
know if, yeah, once again, like I haven't heard too much about these players. I see
Mhm.
that we have a couple of MSC fans in chat, and guys,
Yeah.
you guys are gonna have to sit
Rep
tight.
your schools in chat, by the way. Get
Uh,
hype.
okay, this is gonna be a really odd question. Does every school have their own version of a pug? Do people say like, do they? I feel like they
I feel
would.
like everyone just says Pog. What do you mean?
No, but like a school specific. You know what? Let's move on. I don't want
Okay.
to.
All
Okay.
right.
It was just an odd thought for a second.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're really determined on this one.
Yeah, it's always in the back of my head. Last set we saw like a bunch of heavyweights, like a bunch. We saw two Gobs, we saw two Bowsings, we saw Ridley in every single set of the night, and a Piranha Plants to finish it off as well. Um, I'd like to see if we're going to be getting something similar. Maybe it's going to be like a little bit different. I'd also like to see like how the different players, um, depending on the region, like I
Mhm.
wonder how they vary in their characters, right? Because we get like a unique scope of really like specific micro regions being the colleges, and I'd
Yep.
like to see like how different they are. If I'm not mistaken, William and Mary had like all the heavyweights, or was it just evenly distributed between the two?
Yeah. I'm really surprised mostly that we haven't seen that much Palutena. I feel like, at least where I'm from, Palutena is an incredibly popular character that's relatively easy to play.
Dog,
So,
I know that pain. I'm from
yeah.
Tri-State, man.
Yeah, same, yeah.
We
Everyone here plays Palutena, and I'm always so surprised when that's not just being played like every game.
yeah, nobody's allowed to ever complain about Palutena. That's only for us. We get to
Yeah,
gatekeep this, and already
yeah.
right off the bat, look at this super different matchup. We're seeing Belmont
It's
and
really crazy, yeah.
Squirtle.
Mhm. Yeah, we see
Uh,
Yosei Fu on the Belmont here, and we see Pokemon Trainer coming out from Salati. Very different from the big heavyweight brawly matchups we've been watching throughout the entirety of the last match.
mhm. Already I feel like just right off the bat,
Mhm.
Squirtle is gonna be super big going into this matchup. Squirtle,
For
that's a
sure.
tiny baby.
Mhm.
And just able to maneuver around the projectiles beautifully.
Yeah. He also has a great combo game against the Belmonts, who are relatively heavy for the human characters of this game. They fall pretty quickly, and they get comboed very easily. So Squirtle can really rack up a lot of that early percent. But we see Slatty being kind of stuck on this Ivysaur and this Charizard here, and he's falling prey to a lot of the Belmont's tricks.
Yeah, that was a really nicely timed neutral get of just being able to get around everything. Wow, such
So
a good conversion
confirm.
around the cross. That was beautiful.
That was a really great confirm off that cross landing, but we do see Slatty back on the Squirtle, but he looks like he's uncomfortable on it. Seeing a Pokemon trainer switch off of Squirtle at 0% definitely tells me it is not a character he is that comfortable playing, and if Slatty is going to be on the Ivysaur for most of the time, I think it's going to be very bad for him against his Pokemon. I think that matchup is not favorable at all.
Hmm. Yeah, and honestly, people definitely like be sleeping on Charizard sometimes. That lad can go from A to B super quickly, and before you know it, just explodes
Mhm.
and stops. So
Yeah,
Yosefu just has to make sure like there's enough stuff covering him at a given moment.
but when
Uh,
you're playing a Belmont, that's not too difficult.
mhm. Ooh, good use of the axe there, and still being able to get the holy water afterwards. Goes for the back field just for a little bit of stage control.
Look at this
Yosefu,
percent lead.
yeah.
A full stock up and up 50-ish percent. 60%, 70, yeah.
Mhm.
That's math. 80-ish, yeah. Hmm.
Yosefu is kind of killing it right now, and that's a neutral get him once
There's
again.
the shade to kill again. But
So
like, look, we're gonna see Slotty look for some moves, and he's gonna switch off the Squirtle. Oh, well, maybe not. He's feeling a little more confident. He thinks he needs it for the matchup, but he's not as comfortable on it, and it's really hurting him here.
wow, I feel like I feel like
that's
wait,
big though.
really nice jab block. I feel like maybe in a lot of ways Slatty isn't too comfortable moving around Belmont's projectiles like we saw
Yeah.
when Yosefu threw out Holy Water to cover some space as they were recovering.
This combo could be big.
Slatty respected it. Slatty just kind of stood there and waited for the Holy Water to finish. So afraid of getting hit and not trying to maneuver themselves around it, roll past it, jump over it, anything. And you cannot let Belmont have that kind of respect. You need to have some answers.
But now that Slatty is sticking with the Squirtle, like you said, he's finding a lot more success in the matchup. It's a lot harder for Yosefu to find those big hits, and Slatty's really backing up some percent on the second stock for Yosefu here.
Nice dash attack to cross up the shield. Yosefu not able to have an appropriate response to it. You really just have to respect that at this point. This is looking super tough for Slatty. Interesting landing, but I don't know what to say about all that. There's just like a lot that just happened.
And now we see Slatty back onto Ivysaur on his last stop. It's looking very dire for him. 140% is so big. If he can take this stock off, Yosefu would be huge, but he can't.
Brilliant option coverage.
Air Blitz gets punished. And that's 2 stocks to Yose.
Something I want to immediately note, like right off of the bat, there is this phenomenal widespread habit that almost every single Ultimate player has, or the Smash player in general. I've seen this in other games too, where after, okay, I'm actually like really distracted by Belmont just whipping into the sky. This is hilarious. After like you were like slightly denied from getting back onto the stage and you just barely make it on, almost everybody universally buffers a neutral getup. We see it like with the Holy Water, just like slowly, like gently two-framing them, and then like you get back onto the stage and you didn't expect it, right? We see the immediate buffered neutral getup, and players have gotten so good and confident at punishing that. You have to be patient at ledge. Even if you barely made it back, you have to wait. You have to properly mix it up because you are still, you're not in the green yet. You're still in the danger zone. You still have to treat that as seriously as you would any other ledge situation.
Yeah, for sure. You cannot be impatient. You have to think, you have to take your time, and you have to select the best option. And against characters like the Belmonts who love to go for those traps at the ledge, you really need to be careful. You can't let your instinct take over, because as soon as you autopilot, it's all over.
Absolutely. As soon as like they deny you from getting back to the stage once and you barely make it back, they are covering that neutral getup. They're charging that F smash. They see you get up right into it. You fall into their hands, and then they explode. Going into game 2, I would like to see once again like a departure from those neutral getup habits from Slatty, and then I would also like to see a little bit more confidence in being able to maneuver around those projectiles. With Slatty respecting Belmont's space a little bit too much, Belmont was able to get back onto the stage, able to get away with doing so basically for free. And honestly, Belmont's biggest weakness in the matchup is getting back to stage, is getting out of the corner, right? He is going to be winning neutral more often than you'd think. So you have to, take those small victories. If you're letting him get away with these, with the way that he's getting back onto the stage, you're basically letting him play his best game all the time.
For sure. Belmont is a lot like Little Mac, and like if you put him off stage, he should be dead. Right?
If you want to constantly box with Little Mac on stage, go ahead, have fun, and enjoy like eating 80% out of nowhere, right? Because you have to be stealing those stocks. That's the matchup. You got to be playing it.
So when you're playing against a Belmont, it's exactly the same. If he's off stage, the tether is really bad. The up B is really bad. It's super punishable. So you need to go out there. You need to be confident, and you can make it work, and you can take those early stocks. But if every stock is going to 140s, the Belmonts are going to win.
Game 2, they are going to be opting for Smashville, the old reliable against the zone. They try to play keep away from me. So now I'm going to go to a smaller stage. Not able to get much off of that falling forward and overextending and putting themselves into corner. Still being able to combo though.
This is a big combo out of the gate.
Ooh, just barely making it back. Beautifully spaced up.
Yeah, really great spacing. Yosefu very clearly knows his character well. He knows how to make it happen, but still down at a solid deficit out the gate because Squirtle is just so good at weaving around these Belmont projectiles and is just so solid in this matchup.
Mhm. I really like that option to go from Holy Water from Ledge. It's very reminiscent of like how a Nest would go through diagonal PK fighters from Ledge. I really like that it just sort of like punishes the opponent at roll distance.
You see an early swap out into the Charizard, very risky. It's so much harder to get around all of these things that Belmonts are throwing out when you're playing this big, heavy-bodied character compared to the
Oh
Squirtle
no,
heavy
not
character,
the
and
air
that's
dodge.
gonna you hate to see
At
that
that
happen.
position, there is no reason to air dodge. There's no reason to
Yeah.
air dodge. It's not going to put you into tumble. There is nothing to tech
I think
unless
he
you
was
do that.
trying to roll on the stage, but he didn't grab the ledge because the fire
Yeah.
covered it.
You just have to let go of the controller, eat the hit, and try to reset the scenario. Because
Yeah.
otherwise, you're going to be meeting an untimely end. And just like that, this game has started to snowball a little bit in the favor of Yosefu. This damage output, ridiculous.
Yeah, Slatty swapped off of Squirtle immediately. His opponent's at high percent, and I think he wants the kill. But once again, you don't want to kill the Belmonts in this matchup by killing them when they're at high percent. You want to get the kill by gimping them, and Squirtle is going to be the best option for gimping a Belmont. But we do see the Charizard find the kill there, but already 95, 100% on this Charizard make it look so much harder than it has to be.
Again, these air dodges, you gotta be so careful.
no.
It's holy water. Don't be so afraid. There is nothing to fear, I promise.
Yeah, you can just get back on stage. But here, we don't see the confidence in the Squirtle. Both players are low percent. You have to stay on Squirtle here, but Slatty goes off, and he's going to eat so many
Oh my
punches here that the chain pressure is insane.
That option coverage was actually ridiculous. Holy water
Yes.
to catch the drift out, the falling upper to catch the drift in, just maximizing all the damage output.
No. Okay. I guess that's a 2-stock for Yusefu.
Yeah,
That's
not just
gonna
a
be
two-step,
it
that's
for
a pretty
match one
confident
here.
one. I think Slatty started it off really strong. As soon as that Charizard pick came out and we saw those egg dodges, the game plan slowly but surely unraveled. And that means goodness, I keep forgetting like who is from where. I
Yeah,
think
that means that Mississippi is going to start out 6-0. Yosefu getting them a solid 6-point lead, a double 2-stock. And then, of course, for anyone tuning in, every stock you have after a game is that many points for your team. And then if you also win the best of 3 set, you earn an additional 2 points on top of that for your team. So Yusefu got a double 2-stock, which means he earns 6 points. 4 for the stocks and 2 for the set win, whereas Slatty was not able to earn any points for his team. So Mississippi State starts out 6-0 over Colorado.
Man, I'm gonna say this again. I would really like to see some more like neck to neck games. I
Yeah.
feel like all the wins that we have been seeing have been like confident, clean 2-0s, if not a steamroll, as we saw a little bit earlier in the evening. But either way, Yosefu, I've got to really commend the ledge trapping. That ledge trapping was genuinely phenomenal. I love the
so good.
mitts, the conditioning to keep them sitting in shield. Man,
Mhm.
that was delicious. You have to be careful about neutral get up against Belmont. That's where he wants you. That's where he keeps you. You know.
It's just so dangerous. And when you have a character who kind of has to recover to the ledge like Pokemon Trainer does, it hurts so much for you. And that being said, we are just waiting on the team captains to announce their next players, and for those players to go through their initial stage, pick and ban. We'll have the next game coming to you very shortly. It sounds like players are already joining back into the lobby. And yeah, going forward, it's gonna be some pressure getting put on to Mississippi State's, or onto Colorado's shoulders, sorry. Colorado, when you're at that early deficit, it's by no means a guaranteed loss. 6 points is completely able to be made up, but you need to play clean.
Yep.
Starting out at this deficit means that every single one of your players coming from here on out has to be playing better than the Mississippi players. If Mississippi just goes even, they will win. And that has to be on the minds of whoever Colorado sends in next.
It definitely turns up the heat. It turns up the pressure. You're gonna be forced to be like playing at the top of your game. You don't get that cushion. That's what this is. An early lead is so important in career battles because it gives you a sense of security. It gives you a sense of cushion. It allows you to go through more risks. It allows you to be a little bit more risky in your play. And this sense of pressure that's now being applied to University of Colorado is going to really, really just like force them into this box that they're gonna have to really, really fight to break out of. So yeah, once again, we're just gonna be waiting for the players to jump in. Yeah.
One of my favorite parts about casting collegiate as opposed to professional is the names some collegiate players come in with. Next up, we are bringing you University of Colorado's Propane Fan going up in Mississippi State University's Mr. Man. These are two banger names.
These are banger tags, absolutely. Like, honestly, I just love how people like are able to like squeeze every ounce of creativity in like the smallest places.
Oh, for sure.
Like it's a tag. This is something that people like identify with you just by itself, and it's not really used for anything else. And then like people get so creative with them. Like for my forever favorite tag will always be WDBT HGP. Why do bad things happen to good people? Amazing dude, and even better tag.
Oh, that's a good one.
I have that acronym just burned into my soul. You know.
Yeah. There's a couple I like. I'm a big fan. There's a guy in Connecticut who is, I believe, a Project M player named 4 a.m. I don't know why, but that one really sticks with me. I feel like it's just so like different, but so concise. You know?
It's like the little things that really make it. It's like it's an art. Making a good tag for yourself is an art. You know. That being said, I do hear the beautiful. I hear the music to my ears. The ready sound.
Ready?
We are going to be seeing once again Mr. Man and
Propane Fan.
And of course, Propane is playing the Sword Fighter. They're just
if
adding.
This looks like Hank Hill. It's
going to be Hank Hill.
It's not. Oh my god.
My disappointment is immeasurable.
My day is ruined. Truly a tragedy. Now, the thing about casting games with the Sword Fighter in it is you never know what to expect.
Yeah. But already this is like a really interesting set. You don't normally see the shuriken coming out, right? You usually see like the tornado.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tornado, the chakram, and then like the spinny hero spin up B is usually like considered the standard and the best set. Shuriken just means you're gonna have an extra horizontal poking tool. And
yeah, but does it mean you have that killer confirmed combo that Sword Fighter is known for being so strong because of? So I really want to see what value this Shuriken brings to Propane Fan setup, because that tornado, you know, will be getting you your kills. That's the character's bread and butter, and when you don't have it, you need to be making up for it somewhere else.
Yeah, unable to get much off of the Razor Leaf, is able to actually set up the Flame Trap with the Tech Chase. That's a really, really nice attempt from Mr. Man. Misses that Razor Leaf. Unfortunately, they did not mean to cross up Propane there. That would have been a really good view reverse if they were just a little bit tighter on that execution.
Yeah, it's a game really defined by those small inches, and when you're just a little bit off, it gets back to paying you. But both players are just absolutely dead even. Any big hit will do it. Even a small hit will do it, apparently, when you're that much rage at that high percent.
Yeah, one more up here is going to be more than enough to take it. Right now, I feel like Propane is starting to fish for these kills a little bit.
Yeah, he really wants it.
The next thing to connect will most definitely be it.
But we do see Mr. Man coming out with the early lead, but we need to see if he's able to build up that extra credit and get more of a lead for himself, or if Propane will be able to even things up immediately. It looks like this could be the start of something here for Mr. Man, and it's gonna be big damage.
Yeah, Sword Fighter, what's one of Sword Fighter's biggest faults is that they don't have too many like buttons in the air. It's really difficult for them to land or get out of disadvantage. And we really saw Mr. Man take advantage of that with that falling forward into the up B. That being said, Propane able to take out that first stock, 92% still within the realm of doability.
Yeah, it's completely possible. Me Sword Fighter is definitely a character that has these really solid projectiles and these really solid disjoints that allow him to rack up easy percent, but the kill confirmed, the jab lock from Mr. Man will tell Propane he won't have the chance. A full stock lead for Mr. Man here puts him in a very commanding position.
Yeah, I mean, the Squirtles, all the Squirtles tilts are kind of ridiculous in their own right, but like, you know, down tilt does down tilt things and up tilt. I always mix up the two, but, you know, like able to set up like tech chases like that, one of those, because they look so similar, at basically any percent who link into itself. Man, Squirtles tilts kind of built different.
Yeah, but we see a stark difference between the two Pokemon trainer players here. Mr. Man so far has been very, very clean. He is just kind of not dominating Propane. Propane's making some really good plays like that, but it has been Mr. Man dictating the pace of this game so far. Really solid projectile game and really solid Squirtle combos have allowed him to build this solid 70% lead for himself.
Okay, now we just see like Mystic Man like slowing this down, almost getting that.
I thought there was no way.
Yeah, no, not quite yet. That move ain't as good as it used to be. And honestly, God bless, because oh boy, was it an action replay. It would cheat your stuff.
Yeah. But still, 115% is not where you want to be against a character with such great kill power like Pokemon Trainer. But the little reset from the Chakram, that's crazy. Insane spacing to be able to pull that off.
Oh my god. At this point,
it's like even now.
He was just getting hit by all of that. I don't even think anything was true, just so reluctant to hold shield and anything.
Yeah. And now percent is mattering less and less. Both players have rage here. Last stock, gonna be a last hit scenario coming up soon. Both players fishing for the projectiles and
what a comeback.
Or was that dash attack?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's gonna be it for Propane. He's looking kinda hot. Lighting himself on fire a little bit.
That was a really nice comeback from Propane. Was definitely like down for most of that game, but then the mix up in the play at the last stock. So we saw two very important things happen. Number one, we saw a sudden shift in the way that Mr. Man was playing. We saw short hop, falling forwarders, and short hop, laser leaf as the only two neutral approaches I've seen at all from Mr. Man that entire third stock. The second adjustment that we've seen coming from Propane is a whole lot more shurikens and a whole lot more reflect. And at a certain point, Mr. Man was just getting hit by all of it. And then his percent just skyrocketed, and all of a sudden it was an even game. It was anybody's game at that point.
Yeah, Mr. Man really figured out, Propane really figured out that he had to just slow down the pace of things. He was eating too many combos and too many projectiles. And when you're playing a character with such strong zoning tools like the Mii Sword Fighter, you do need to know when to slow it down and start throwing out your own projectiles. And Propane figured it out when it mattered. It paid off dividends for him, and he put Colorado on the board.
Well, yeah, that was quite the phenomenal comeback. Propane really killed it, really just brought it home, just played super solid, and just made the most out of the fundamentals.
Yeah, in game 2, we're getting into it real quick. What I want to see from Mr. Man is just more solid fundamentals. When Propane started reflecting projectiles at Mr. Man, really kind of started falling apart. And
Absolutely.
If he keeps it simple and just goes for these exact Squirtle plays, it'll be so much better for him.
Reflecting somebody's projectile once, even though it might not have necessarily hit them, it does so much to a player psychologically, especially with Belmonts. You reflect that cross just once, and you'll see how reluctant they are to throw it out, and that hesitation is exactly what you want to make a zoning feel if you are so blessed to have a reflector. That being said, Propane already sitting at 132%. The next hit, a back kill, and up or something, will be more than enough to take out the stock.
Yeah, this is a much better start for Mr. Man than he had last game. Last game, it was very close the entire time, and he was only just barely able to get that early lead. But now, 160 on Propane, any solid hit will do it. And Mr. Man
Wow.
is really looking to take a early start and run away with it.
Now, I've got to say, that's a really nasty angle that the back hit of me Solid Fighter's neutral air sends you out. It just like
Oh,
sends you
yeah.
off stage
But
in the
here we
direction
see
that you would
Propane
come.
playing for projectiles again, and Mr. Man just looks confused. He can't land.
That's to slow it down. Like he's jumping in for no reason. He just has to slow it down, walk and shield. It's okay, buddy. You have the lead.
Yeah.
That
Try
should.
to make him approach you. That it's not really a kill throw, but when you're at 180, a lot of things become kill throws. So
Yeah. At that point, if your character can't kill him with you at 180, what? Man,
Yeah.
you poor baby.
it's pretty awkward. But here we see Mr. Man able to make it back to the stage. Probably going to switch out toward the Charizard soon, but he seems to be mostly comfortable on this Ivysaur. There it is. Trying to get that bigger body, but
Yeah.
it doesn't matter enough when you're at 150. Back onto the Squirtle. Now, the Squirtle is where we saw most of Mr. Man's value coming out in these two games so far against Sneak Fight. It looks like that is going to be the case in this fifth stock right now.
Ooh, that was such a nice way to extend that and get a little bit of damage out by using the upbeat. That was very, very clever. For sure.
Combos.
And nicely like retreating Chakrams, like I've gotta say Mystic Man is really starting to run into a lot of these. Propane has already brought it all the way back into a slight tiny, never mind, no longer the lead. But it's
Off stage looking a little rough, but there's not enough of a ledge punish to really make it feel too bad. The ledge trapping from Mr. Man has been very lacking, and Squirtle is not a character that's amazing at it, but we don't see him going on to the character like the Charizard at these mid, or the Ivysaur at these mid percents to make those ledge traps happen. We see it come out now, but it's a little
yeah.
late.
I mean, honestly, like me, Solid Fighter's trajectory with how they're recovering should set you up for the free spike with
Down
that.
there, yeah.
Like without a doubt, and we're just not seeing that Ivysaur get ledge. And
Yeah.
I think it's coming
He
back.
could go
to
for
bite
it
him
here.
a
He
little.
looks for it, but the timing mix up from Propane is good enough to keep him alive. And now this second stock is looking very close.
That's
There's
exactly
some-
what you got to do. You got to make it a 50-50. You've got to stall. You've got to jump. You got to use everything in your kit to make sure that.
And now with
Ivysaur
Mr.
goes
Man
down.
in the battle stage, he has to flare blitz back in the stage. That's going to cost him a lot of health, and now things are looking very even. Propane has run this stock back.
Tries to go for jab through the kill, not able to get it quite yet. I thought we were going to be seeing something like a little bit cheeky, like a jab grab mix up. I feel like a lot of players are getting comfortable with those. Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Ooh,
Oh
some Jack.
boy.
Okay, he can go back
That
on the
was
Charizard, but he
incredible.
doesn't grab ledge.
So that was so good because Propane not ready for it at all. Like if you're re-grabbing the ledge and like you like thinking to yourself like, okay, like if I don't mix this up, I die. You can throw everything but the kitchen sink at them.
Yep. That's really crazy. But this last stock is dead even. You talked all through the first match. You wanted more close sets, more even games, and it looks like these two players are delivering for you. This is by far the closest match of the night, and it's so insane. Literally 1% at one point separating the players there.
Propane, a really aggressive landing, just neutral air dodging right into Mr. Man with the cross up as well, being able to whip punish that F tilt. But that neutral air dodge not going to work again. This time, Mr. Man positioning themselves correctly in order to be able to punish them. I like how Mr. Man is definitely playing a lot more grounded right now and is able to catch a lot of Propane's like poor landings.
Yeah, we see Propane 100%. No way. He went flying. I thought that would be close at least. Oh my god. That
Wow.
is broken.
Wow, this is the first
Yep.
like
Game three.
game 3 that we've seen all day,
Yeah.
considering that we've already played through 6 sets. That's definitely saying a lot. I was gonna say this. I saw some people in chat were a little bit confused about how the rules work for this. So basically, it's a 5v5 college team crew battle with modified rules. And so what's happening is instead of players playing it out and then moving on to the next set with the remaining stocks, instead what happens is both the players that are fighting each other play a best of 3. If they win a game, they get points for each remaining stock that they have left, and if they win the set, they have 2 points. So if somebody were to 3-stock somebody both games, they would come out of it with 8 points to themselves.
Yeah, well put. That's how the format works. It ends up playing out pretty similarly to a crew battle a lot of the time, but we get a lot more time to see each player play. In a crew battle, you can see one player really hog the stage for a long time, and that's not a problem we end up running into here. So it's just a great way to showcase all of the players that these collegiate teams have to offer.
I see some people asking about if there's a way to see like all the people registered in like the school's rosters. I'm not sure if that's public info or not.
Mhm.
So yeah, and even I like don't know like a lot of these names.
We can get back to you on that one. We'll definitely ask.
Mhm.
And try and see because that's very important. We want to be able to show off all these great teams participating, and we're still early into the season. We're still getting things ironed out a little bit, so we're trying to figure out everything, make everything look pretty and presentable. But getting back into it, game 3, the first game 3 of the night, these players so incredibly evenly matched.
I've never seen like the first set of neutral load like that set up onto a tech chase from Zero on the platforms. That's a really interesting interaction. I would have loved to see Propane get a little bit more mileage off of it. Right now, Propane over-committing to some of this keep away game. Squirtle just able to cross him off, and wow, Mystery Man is doing a lovely job of breaking space as Squirtle this game.
Yeah, the Squirtle is really good again, and that's been the main strength of this pick in the Mini Sword Fighter in these past 2 games has been the Squirtle and his ability to get around these projectiles that Propane is throwing out. Remember, Propane opted for the Shuriken instead of the more popular Tornado, and if he can't get value out of it, if you can weave around the Shurikens, the Squirtle really makes the matchup feel so much better.
So I like this. I like it when players have like a sudden tempo change. Oh my goodness, you can't
There's the
even
kill
miss that.
confirm. We saw that in game 1, and we see it here again. That is your bread and butter as Squirtle. That is how you want to get those kills. And when Mr. Man is getting those on Wi-Fi, you know he's playing clean. He's on his fundamentals, and he is looking good here with this stock lead.
I like the way that Propane like suddenly like stopped the original game plan and went through like a bunch of shurikens and chakrams, because what that is an execution test. It's saying I'm not even really looking for anything. I'm trying to see A, how are you gonna get around these projectiles, and B, if you're just gonna get hit by them, I'm just gonna take all of that damage for myself.
Yeah.
Because like in the middle of the match, you can sometimes like tunnel vision into doing like what you want and not really focus on what's happening in front of you.
Yeah, it forces the opponent to pay attention, or else they kind of pay the tax, you know?
It's like wake up and smell the roses. Look at what's happening in front of you. I think said Propane, gotta take this first stock right now, or otherwise, Mr. Man's gonna be looking like they're gonna be the victors.
Oh, he gets caught on the waterfall. That's so important. That could have been the stock if he dodged and got the gimp, but now almost a full stock lead. Mr. Man almost lapping Propane here in this crucial game 3.
Yeah, nice little hit just to sort of basically say to Mr. Man, like, hey, get off. Don't you ever dare try to edge guard me one more time. Nice cross up with a nail. Was able to beat the out of shield option, but was unable to get the properly punish on it. That being said, I believe that was the up tilt. Able to take the stock. At that point, more than enough.
But remember, game 1 started out a lot like this. It started out with a huge lead for Mr. Man, and Propane ran it all the way back. It's certainly possible, and it could definitely happen again right here.
Squirtle does have a reliable backfield, just like Charizard and just like Ivysaur. Yeah, it's something you always got to keep in mind. And again, it all comes back to this thing about like players being a little bit too hasty to neutral get up after they just barely made it back onto the stage. Everybody's ready to punish that.
Yeah, it's the main thing people look for, so you have to do it in moderation. It's safe, it's the fast ones. Everyone wants to do it, but if everyone wants to do it, no one wants to do it anymore.
We tries to go through something a little bit cooler with the drag down fair, but unfortunately popped up. Mr. Man was unable to connect that down tilt properly.
And we see the Ivysaur come out, and we see Mr. Man keeping his lead the entire time, not eating that projectile pressure we saw get him in game 1. And it's just still a full stock lead for Mr. Man here. If he can close it out and earn 2 points for his team instead of 1, that would be even better. And the flare blitz
Phenomenal. Yeah, such a
will do
good
it.
mix-up.
What a
Again,
great reaction, actually.
when somebody like again, it all comes back to like sometimes you have to be situationally aware. You can't always be focused on your zoning. You can't always be aware of putting out hitboxes like that. Sometimes you need to look at the fact that Charizard is positioning themselves for a high recovery. You need to just sit there and wait and maybe respect it sometimes based on their positioning, because otherwise you might be meeting an untimely end. That being
Yeah.
said, I want to say that was a really, really good adaptation from Mr. Man, from what I thought would have been a pretty good set for Propane. Kind of proved me wrong a little bit.
Yeah, Mr. Man really turned it around. He earned, after dropping 1 point over to Colorado, earned 5 points back for his team, bringing the total 1 point for University of Colorado compared to 11 for Mississippi right now.
Mhm.
Mississippi students, Mississippi fans right now are probably feeling pretty good, but momentum can turn in game 3. I've seen it happen plenty of times. 8 points are on the line potentially in game 3, but even if Colorado gets that, they would still be 2 points behind. They need to bring in the ringers. They need to have their back half be better than their front half and make the comeback happen for themselves, because they are at an early deficit.
Yeah. So not really sure about the plays that we're gonna have coming up. So just gonna be a couple more minutes, guys. Just make sure to hang tight. Once again, I'm loving to see like all of the like all the university camaraderie in the chat, guys. It's nice to see everybody pull up, support the local players, perhaps compete a little bit later tonight themselves. It's nice, you guys got to come out for your boys sometimes.
Yeah. That being said, we are going to throw it to a short little break here while we wait for the players to get in and to pick all their stages, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Sounds good. Alrighty, video gamers, we are going to be jumping into the next set momentarily. That's the music to our ears, hearing the ready. Once again, we are going to be seeing which players?
We have got Labyrinth going up against AIV. Now, AIV is the team captain for Colorado, I believe here.
Mhm.
So we got the ringer potentially coming in, trying to dig his team out of the hole that they
Mhm.
are in.
So I already really like the way that AIV is pacing this match. When
Mhm.
it is 0%, you have no reason to be on the ground against Luigi. You want to
Oh,
eke out
yeah.
like a few hits until you're at like 20% or so, and you know for the fact that you can confidently get out of that 0 to death, right?
Mhm.
Because the worst time to be on the ground against Luigi is between like 0 and 8%. As
Yeah,
soon as
because
you
if
pass
Luigi
that,
grabs you, it's over.
you're just waiting for an upper, you're just waiting for the fireball, you're waiting
Mhm.
for the zero. You want to be taking on that damage. And it
Yeah.
really like creates this interesting dynamic.
Mhm. But once you're at 96, similar options can just kill you. The next tornado might be the one that does it when
Not
you're at
quite.
122.
I feel like Tornado doesn't scale with knockback all that well. And I've
Yeah.
seen people live it, especially on Battlefield, at like super high percents.
Yeah, pretty different from Smash 4, I guess.
Mhm.
But the
Good
up
catch on
smash
the quick
is
draw.
still
Beautifully
good.
spaced. Okay, how's
The up
AIV
smash
going
is
to be
really good.
getting this edge guard? Labyrinth very smart to go deep, understanding that although I can go off stage to some extent, can't really go down that low.
Yeah, Ike's offstage game is very limited. We'll very often see AIV and Ike players in general try and charge that neutral B at the ledge, try to just go for the two frame, but
Mhm.
it's more of a gamble than anything else, just because Ike has nothing better to do. And here we see the low percent again for both players. AIV out of that kill combo range, but still very comboable, very susceptible to these insane strings that Luigi can pull out.
I really appreciate that aggressive recovery option. Just being able to completely circumvent ledge trapping altogether and just side B right onto the center of the stage. Not able to get a punish on the crossed up dash attack. You really just have to be comfortable with that move. Next time, I bet we're going to see like a dash grab or something.
Yes. It's all about adaptations in games like this, and AIB, great quick draw to the ledge, not going on stage. He's been punched for that multiple times now. Just
hmm
playing it safe, but playing it safe is not how you win from behind. AIB needs to find an opening to make the play happen here, and he's just not quite able to do it. Great ledge jump read by Labyrinth is going to solidify a very, very good lead for him, assuming AIB can't make this ledge guard happen, which it doesn't look like he'll be able to.
hmm Nice little jump mix up. AIV was like fully intent on catching that landing. That was the first time we've seen like a double jump in that position. It's like these little bits of play that minimize the amount of damage that you're taking. They really add up towards the end. That was really, really smart.
Yeah, and already we see just very
Ooh.
safe, calculated gameplay from Labyrinth. The up B will take it, though. He does get clipped and caught, and once again, we're back to even, but if the pattern repeats, if we keep seeing Labyrinth take that first stock, he will come out on
Good
top.
wait, beautiful wait. Anytime you're juggling Luigi, the first thing on your mind is, okay, when are they going to be pressing this button?
Yeah.
Because ain't nothing like that's what Luigi love doing. They
Luigi
love
Nair,
like.
Luigi down B, there's so many good ways from just get out of your combo.
Mhm. But yeah, that was just a really good wait from AIV. It just shows how
He's
comfortable he
fishing,
is
oh
in the
my god.
matchup.
Labyrinth wants the combo so bad, but he gives up on it. He decides to just combo his opponent instead, not going for that cheeky zero to death anymore.
I love that little wait from AIV too. Like by positioning yourself with jump quick draw like that, you can see if the opponent positions themselves to cover a recovery to ledge or a recovery onto the stage, and you're able to appropriately like select the perfect option every single
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
That being said, Labyrinth already making a really nice cleanup of the stock, slowly bringing it back. The dash attack surprisingly not connecting.
Yeah, it's so even, and it's gonna be the F tilt or the dash
Dash
attack, I
attack
think,
that
that
time,
takes
yeah.
it for AIV. An incredibly close game. Labyrinth was ahead for almost the entire time, but at the end, AIV was able to clean it up and take it for himself. Really great. Getting a point back for Colorado here, trying to claw his way back into having a competitive chance in this match, and that is a good way to start it out.
Mhm. So honestly, I don't know how it's going to manifest itself, but what's really big in the Ike matchup is when you know they're going to be recovering with quick draw, it's how can I position myself in such a way that I make them feel comfortable going through this option when in reality that's the option that I'm covering. We
Yeah.
saw the dash back from Labyrinth ready to cover the quick draw back onto the stage. So AIV reacted and went to the ledge. we saw Labyrinth try to cover the ledge, so AIV reacted and went onto the stage. The goal is to find that very, very subtle sweet spot in terms of positioning and timing, where you can bait the opponent into going to the option that you are attempting to cover. And if Labyrinth is able to find that, he's going to be getting so many phenomenal edge guards on AIV that he normally would not be able to get.
But it's so hard to find the opportunity to do that. Like, it's one thing to say, "Here's what you have to do," but it's another thing to actually be able to pull it off.
It's
It's
player
so
dependent,
precise.
it's character
Yeah,
dependent, it's stage dependent. There's a lot of factors to consider.
yeah, but Ike is a character with a pretty exploitable recovery, but if you're not exploiting it, he feels a lot better. So you have
I
to
mean,
make it
upbeat,
happen.
100%, you should be killing him for it. But when
Yeah.
they quick draw, that's the real test in the matchup.
It is, yeah, for sure.
Right now, oh boy.
Oh, this could be big.
That's it, that's a stop.
Oh, the air dodge out of it!
Yeah, he SDI'd out, but still taking 50% from 0. That's gonna be pretty big.
It's so much percent even.
Tries to go through the up B out of shield, doesn't find it.
But the punish really isn't that much, only 22% with 81 on IV. Puts Labyrinth at a great early lead here. Not quite able to get the punish on that early quick draw though. That's a bold smash,
Yeah.
and he's going to get punished for it.
Like,
Not
could've
that
dashed
hard.
back. If he dashed back a little bit further, he might have been able to cover every
Maybe.
single option. With that being said, right now, that's AIV trying to get off of the ledge against Luigi, not able to punish that dash attack in time. That DI on Tornado, a little bit suboptimal, but very fortunate for AIV.
But we see Labyrinth, oh, that's going to be a kill. Great confirmed. He recognizes AIV, did not tech. He gets the jab lock immediately. And now 44% on his first stock. AIV is so behind to Labyrinth here.
Yeah. I mean, AIV playing grounded with Luigi, like, that's great. No, yeah, you always gotta be super mindful of that. I think the best thing that AIV could have done there was just wait a little bit, wait until they were properly positioned under PS2, so that they had no risk of being pineappled and then going through, like, a reverse up B. That was so unfortunate.
It happens to everyone, but every time it happens, it feels so
bad, yeah.
Oh, the misfire, it actually matters. I don't think Labyrinth could have made it back without that misfire.
I think Labyrinth still have a double jump. You could still,
Oh,
like,
you
make
have double jump? Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. He had a double jump. Yeah. All right, my bad. But the forward tilt will take it, but a full stock lead for Labyrinth here.
Full stock lead, a little bit of a taunt just to hype himself up a little bit. And you know what? Sometimes you got to give yourself that gas. It's necessary.
Yeah, I mean, we're both from New England, or we're both from Tri-State, right? We know all about Light. Light's the taunt king, so
Yeah.
maybe draw some inspiration from there.
Ooh, goes for the down tilt dash attack. Nice little way to extend that, get every single last drop of damage, catching AIV, not shielding at all.
And now it's looking a lot harder. When you're at 76% against Luigi, Luigi's a character, it's very hard to get those extended combos on him. It's very hard to make explosive comebacks against Luigi. You really need that sustained neutral victory. And when you're at 90, it means you only have 1 or 2 mistakes.
I mean, look at this. AIV is just waiting. He's playing second beat, and that's exactly what you want to be doing here. Because Labyrinth is the one that's pressing all of these buttons first, and Ike has the space to be able to wait and then punish it appropriately.
We see AIV getting tossed offstage again and again. He really only has 1 more neutral loss left in the tank before the hit kills him, and he still has an entire stock to work through for Labyrinth. So maybe he just wants to play to deny this 1 point. I don't know. It's
I mean, listen, every single point matters at this point.
Yeah.
No point getting up in this kind of a group battle with this kind of format.
Of
dash attack. And listen, Ike, he's got that Game Shark already plugged in. He can.
Luigi is so gimpable. Is that it? No, okay.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't go off stage with that one quite yet, would he?
Not quite, yeah. But yeah, 43%. It's racking up. AIV is trying to make it happen here.
This is so scary to me. These double jumps
so scary,
so frightening.
Like any good hit, a back air, even a nair might be doing it from the Luigi, but he just can't find anything. And we see great confirmed. So much rage! Oh my god, AIV takes it.
What a comeback. That was incredible because Labyrinth so tunnel vision into the idea that that AIV was going to land poorly on that shield, was fishing for those up smashes, and AIV played second beautifully, waited for Labyrinth to constantly be pressing those buttons, and was able to get that kill as a beautiful punish. Does an amazing comeback from AIV and was able to clutch that. That's what a clutch is. That's
Oh my, yeah, game 1 too was incredibly clutch from AIV as well. Just he was behind the entire time, both games, and both times he made it happen at the end. Truly incredible. I expect in the future we might be seeing AIV coming in last for University of Colorado. He might be the man to call on when everything else is on the line.
hmm So what's the score count? Enlighten me,
So we
please.
are up to 4 more points going University of Colorado's way and none going to Mississippi, meaning we are at 5 for Colorado against Mississippi's 11, which, while still being behind, means that it is possible for Colorado to take the lead after this match 4. If they earn 6 points, they tie, and if they earn 7, they take the lead. That
Definitely
means
doable. Like
yeah.
we've seen plenty of 6-pointers today.
Yeah, we've seen no 7-pointers yet, but it's completely possible. A double 2-stock has happened
Multiple
so
times.
many times. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it could definitely be a tie game going into game 5 here. But let's not get ahead of ourselves too hard. We still need to play out match 4, and we'll be bringing that to you pretty soon. We just need the players to select who they're sending up onto stage and pick their stages. So we have University of Colorado against Mississippi State. We have some people joining the channel, and while we wait for that,
I feel
anything you wanna say?
like what's really interesting to note is like how we've like compared to like the last set of schools, we're seeing a completely different set of characters, right? Last time we saw a
Yes.
lot more heavyweights. We saw, you know,
2
we saw like
Bowsers, 2 Robs.
Ridley, you know,
Uh-huh.
on a plant. While here, I feel like we're seeing like a much wider range of characters. So far, like we're seeing a lot more Pokemon training. We've seen that a couple of times. We're seeing Luigi, we're seeing Ike. So like a nice healthy variation, variety, excuse me, a nice healthy variety of high tiers.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. No
So
Palutena though still.
no Palutena, and you know what? Listen, man, that's a blessing in disguise. Um, I'm just kidding. Actually, I actually don't mind Palutena
I
as
like
much.
Palutena.
I think Palutena, like a lot of players that struggle with her and fighting Palutena, they really don't know what Palutena is looking for, and as a
Yeah.
result, they kind of get hit by the same option and complain about that same pretty
Yeah.
exploitable option.
I think Palutena is a very straightforward, fundamentals-based character. She has great movement, she has great aerials, great priority, but there's not a lot of jank to the character, right?
But
Like,
no, yeah, Palutena is not going to be stealing your stocks.
yeah, she
Palutena,
does broken things. Don't get me wrong. That character is broken, but when she kills you, it's because she got a solid fundamental combo. She outspaced you, she opened you up, she got the combo, and then she punished you hard for it.
Mhm.
It's not some random gimp out of nowhere. It's not some cheese. So I always like watching Palutena.
they're
because
slow and
good
steady. They're a
Palutena players-
long
yeah,
form character, right? They're
yeah,
not going to be, you know, taking your stocks with something that you haven't seen before. They're going to play steady. They're going to outplay you. They're going to be
yeah.
taking so many like notes on your habits throughout the set. And you just have to be ready to adapt. You have to be ready
Yeah,
to
so
mix.
it's always a great character to see, but I see a lot of it. So I am glad that we're mixing it up a little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
And up next, we have Katsuju coming in for the University of Colorado, going against Mississippi State University's Apparatus.
And I do want to say quickly, this is going to be like my last game before I have to take a quick little 30-minute intermission. I'm so sorry to leave you, and
Yeah, so if you
fend
like my
for
voice, you're going to be hearing a double.
yeah, you're just gonna be hearing 2 of you actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, but then I'll be back at around like 8:30 or so after this next set,
Mhm.
depending on how
sounds
long
good.
this goes. Who knows?
Yeah, it sounds like both players are joining in, so we should have the match starting in pretty soon. We're just waiting for them to pick on their stage that they're going to be going to. Now, I don't know if you have. I have not heard of Katsuju or Apparatus before, so I don't really know what to expect as we get into here, but it won't
Man,
remain
I'm gonna
too
keep it
long.
real with you. I haven't heard of any of these players coming into
Well,
today.
now you
So,
will have, I guess, another Luigi.
oh boy,
Wow.
Luigi
Into
and Rob.
Rob.
So this is a crazy matchup. This is
Oh,
this
yeah.
is this is something that we've seen circulating on Twitter.com as of recent. God bless that set between Junior and Rob, because wow, Rob mains, they get grabbed once and they're dead. They're just dead. Like they're
Rob
gone.
is heavy, he is combo food, and Luigi eats it up. It is insane.
Mhm. Like the window for Luigi to be able to get these down kill combos is actually like absurdly massive on Gob compared to like a lot of the cast. That being said, right now, Apagatos and Katsuji keeping it pretty even for now. Nice little bit of boxing. Tries to go for the tech chase with the down tilt, but inputs it a little bit too early and just immediately goes for the finisher left tilt.
Yeah, important to note, Katsuji is actually on the opposite team of the Luigi we just saw
Interesting.
last set, Labyrinth. So each team has their own Luigi player. This is not one team running two Luigis.
One team running two Luigi's. I think that classifies as a war crime.
All right, chill out a little bit. Great up smash to cover that landing tornado. In this game, out the gate, very, very even. But that back throw is
Goes for
going
the
to
back
kill
throw.
it.
Yep, very nice clean way of cleaning it up. I'm so surprised that he wasn't able to get the sweet spot of that back hill, but I think the spot dodge.
Oh, here it might be happening. Okay,
No.
44% could have been bigger, but you're never sad about 44%.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, again, listen, like, it's damage. And at the end of the day, damage is damage, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Can't really be too upset about that. Like, sure, you didn't get a stock. I really love the use of Fireball at the ledge, though, just to sort of tell the opponent, like, listen, you're not going to try to edge guard me, will you? I'm going to stop you in your tracks, buddy boy. Good.
And we see ledge trapping and edge guarding against a Rob, which is a rare sight. Rob is known for having insane offstage ledge mix-ups. He can go high, he can go low, he can stall for as long as he wants. So being able to rack up this percent on a Rob at the ledge is insane, but all good things do come to an end. Eventually, Apparatus does find the down beat, but still almost a full stock behind. 126% is so much. It is a long road for Apparatus, but we just saw his teammate run up that same road, so it's completely possible.
So I'm noticing a trend for both of these players, and it's that neither of them are shielding long enough to wait out the entirety of a multi-hit. This is exactly how Katsuji lost his last stock. Primed himself with the out of shield, but then dropped the shield before the side beat completed. We saw this with Cyclone just now, hitting Apparatus' shield. I think both players need to be on top of it and react a little bit better.
You really cannot be doing that. It's so easy to fall into the trap. You want to get that maximal frame advantage, but you can just end up punting yourself so hard for it. That being said, Katsuji still out to a solid lead here, but one big hit could even it up for Apparatus, but Katsuji just keeps racking on more and more percent, getting extra credit for himself and making it worse and worse for Apparatus.
These Cyclones are starting to get a little bit more greedy, and I'd like to say that Katsuji needs to be a little bit more careful of them, because next time it happens, Apparatus is most definitely going to blow him up for it. That being said, both of them have their own little spinny, funny moves.
And the gyro. Ooh, the combo!
Yeah, down to the down beat.
Clean.
That DI was
All right. I said Colorado would need a double two-stop to even it up, and that's one in the bag for Katsuji here.
You know what they could even get that's even better? The three-stock.
You could.
Tantalizing.
Yeah, yeah. Juicy, juicy.
Nice and spicy. Yeah, it would really just give them exactly what they need here. This is looking pretty good right now for Colorado. Like this, this matchup, the switch in, perfect. Could not have gone better.
That's great, yeah.
Super comfortable in this matchup.
Yeah, it's looking really good. Now, what do you think Apparatus could do in the matchup to make it better? Any stage selection, any neutral tips that you think you should be implementing here to try and keep the Luigi out of his space and get more percent racked up?
Yeah, I mean, I think Apparatus doesn't need to be boxing Luigi as much. You don't want to be boxing like Gob. I mean, Gyro and Laser Beam and just Gob being Gob. You can play keep away from Luigi pretty confidently. I feel.
For sure, yeah. That is something we didn't see a lot of. We didn't see the laser coming out nearly as much as you'd expect it to in a matchup like this, and that definitely sounds like the number one thing in my mind that I want to see more from Apparatus going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Got the nice little 7-11 scoreline, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we get into it. We're running back to Pokemon Stadium 2. I believe this is where we play Game 1, right?
Yeah, this is exactly where we went Game 1. No stage switch. Apparatus just going to be knocking Katsuji off stage. The early lead going to be coming in super clutch. How is Katsuji going to be dealing with this gyro at ledge? Wow, an immediate F smash.
Yeah, the gyro at ledge is such an incredibly strong tool, and that's going to be the 0-to-death kill. Apparatus starting out strong. Maybe he figured something out at the end of that, but it might just be a 0-to-death. All of Katsuji's, but no, he drops it at the end. He air dodges off stage, and he will be able to make it back. Both players are kind of spaghettiing off stage, and neither one able to really make anything happen here, but not a whole lot of punishments.
Katsuji's finger is just on that A button immediately after getting down to the off stage. You see the neutral line coming out. That's definitely a little bit,
Huge combo from Apparatus here, though. He is running away with this lead. Oh my god. He almost got the gyro confirmed, but Katsuji was able to get out of the way of it. The gyro blocked it. Oh my god. Katsuji doesn't have a double jump. He's dead.
It gave Apparatus all the time. It gave Apparatus all the time that they needed to get off stage and to continue to block Katsuji. And this is a completely different game. That's it. Game 3. Let's go to game 3. Let's go to game 3.
Oh my
god. Just got
oh my god. We thought for Katsuji, but no. Apparatus absolutely runs over Katsuji in game 3. Game 2, oh my god, the second game 3 of the day, and I have no idea what's going to happen.
They snapped.
I thought after game 1 this would be so Katsuji favorite. I thought he was looking great, but then Apparatus just turned it on. He gave the controller to his big brother or something. I don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
Ouch. Yeah. That was just genuinely tough. Like, when you Luigi without you jump off stage and you get, spiked, it's like, damn, you really gotta hold that one, huh?
It is so rough. It's really incredible. But going into game 3, it definitely feels like Apparatus figured out some of the adaptations he needed to. I will say that.
Mm-hmm. I feel like we're gonna be seeing, whatchamacallit? I feel like we're gonna be seeing the stage switch. I think Katsuji here would play something nice and flat, perhaps FD, Kalos, or Town and City. And if there are only 2 bands, that means he's gonna be guaranteed to go into a flat stage.
Yeah, show me the Kalos.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's like the old reliable, funny combo character, counter picking you to the 3rd flat stage.
Yeah, the stage list not that diverse right now, in terms of that at least.
It definitely favors flat stages, especially going to game 2s and game 3s. That being said, going into this game 3, this unexpected game 3,
and here it is, yeah, the Smashville. Not quite Town and City, but it's flat except for that one central platform that's just always there, which definitely serves its purpose.
Yeah, so now, everything I said and just take it all back.
I mean, one thing to note about Town and City is that it has a very high ceiling, which makes the Shoryuken up B kills a lot more awkward.
Goes from the up throw, unable to. Ooh, that was interesting. Tries to go through the extension with up tilt. I think that was really clever, but unfortunately, the
great anti-air from Apparatus. And we see just some really solid neutral. Both players not being able to really get in and just poking at each other here, getting a few solid combos, but mostly just stray hits so far.
Good use of the fireball just to block that gyro from advancing.
if he meant to go for a misfire there, props to CJ. That's the kind of option I like to see.
Ooh, tries to go through the back, but not quite, just barely misspacing it. Because of like the way that like Rob almost concaves his entire body, Katsuki was just like able to go ahead and land that back in. That's a down throw into the down B that should not
That
be
will
taken.
kill, but it's a lot of percent. Both players at 110, 120 is so much to be dealing with.
Next player to take the stock is going to be defining the pace of this match. So unfortunate, that could have been the stock, but Apparatus misspaces it. That's the lead grab that should have been
Oh, the tech!
You could still tech that.
Yeah, I guess. I guess it wasn't untechable. That's crazy. Oh, the spot dodge? Okay.
Nah, that should have been an up throw. Oh, well, either way.
It's not going to matter, though. And that's going to be Apparatus taking the first stock. And now, because both characters are so combo heavy, having the first chance to build extra credit before your opponent is so crucially important in this matchup.
Extending off stage like that is so scary because as Luigi, you can lose your stock at any moment.
Yeah, Luigi is incredibly gimpable. He really has an exploitable recovery. So if you mess up, it's so high risk and high reward. Yeah, here we see
save that double jump, man.
Yeah, and here we see Katsuji racking up percent, still on his first stop with Katsuji in danger of dying again, and it's looking like it could be another 3 stock for Apparatus here. He can just steal a stock at any time, just like we just saw. The pressure is on for Katsuji so hard.
Remember when you said steal a stock like we just saw?
No.
That'd be it. Oh my god. That was so scary. Wait.
So much is on the line here. If Apparatus wins this, he guarantees a victory for his team. But if Katsuji wins, he keeps Colorado in the running. This is the pivotal game. Everything is at stake here, and Apparatus is looking to take home the glory.
Midfield definitely saved him. Otherwise, that Jugger would have knocked him off stage and he would have been dead. Nice weight on the uppie, making sure that they're not going to get spiked.
Great grab, but there's not a whole lot to come out of it. He doesn't get the sweet spot.
Clever, very clever. I like that a lot.
And we see Katsuji going for these risky options because he has to, because he's so behind, but he's not getting rewarded for them. So now he's sitting here at 112. Rob can make it back from anywhere. This will matter. But the stage spike, okay. If anyone can 0 to death a Rob, it's Luigi. The gyro doesn't send the right way. 127. It could matter. It could not. This throw should be it. Yup, bro. Is it? The DI doesn't come through, and that's going to be Apparatus taking the match for his team, putting himself up another 3 points here. 7 to 17 means there's no chance for Colorado to come back in this 5th and final game.
Okay, gamers, I just want to say I have to run. I will be back at about 8:30. Juggerable, hold it down. Thank you so much to everybody that has watched me up until this point. You guys will be able to get a little bit more action from me. Later on in the evening, I just have a quick little errand to run, and I'll see you guys in a bit.
Yeah, and with that, I will be bringing you this game 5 of match 2 by myself. A little bit more chill. Not a whole lot is on this line anymore, as you can see, because you can only get 8 points, 2 3 stocks plus 2 points for winning the set inside of a single set. There is no way for University of Colorado to come back. The best case scenario is they end 15 to 17. We are still going to play out the 5th and final match game of the match, though, just so we can give everyone a chance to come on and play, get their matches in, get their experience, show off on stream. But it's going to be a little bit more laid back. There's not a whole lot on the line. Players are going to be playing for swag more than for purely to win. But these types of games are always very fun to watch. These are some of my favorite to go for because the pressure is off and the players can just have fun with it. I do love these high pressure games like the one we just saw. That one was absolutely insane, but we're gonna go into a little bit more chill of a mode here. And to preface that, we're gonna start by taking a little bit of a short break. That was an intense game, and I need some time to cool off. So we'll be back in a few minutes. Hello and welcome back, everybody. We're bringing you Game 5 of the face-off between University of Colorado and Mississippi State University. We are going to be getting into it real quick right now. We have Ice going up against Maze. Ice on the Dark Pit and Maze on the Incineroar. This is a very, very interesting matchup. Pit is a disjointed boxing character. He likes to play at that mid-range with his swords. Very notably has some jank hitboxes. You can fall in and out of it, but Incineroar is very weak to these disjoints himself. He has none of his own to fight back with. So Dark Pit having these sword hitboxes are incredibly powerful, but Maze not messing around, seeing Ice double grabbing the ledge. He's going to just immediately recognize it, punish it with the down air, and take a very early stock for himself, immediately starting out 3-2 in this game 5 here, match 5 here, set 5. Ice playing some solid neutral, but that early deficit is so sad, but Maze really not able to actually find any good damage. He only got that stock off of a kind of janky interaction and oversight on Ice's part. So if Ice keeps just playing the neutral like this, he can bring it back. Maze really just spamming a lot of buttons, looking to fight the air almost, as Ice really trying to make things happen, but right now we can't find any evidence. A solid combo opportunity from Maze here, but he drops it. And Ice going to try and get the edge guard, not quite able to do it. The ledge trap just reset the situation, throw him back off stage. The up air kill, I don't think Mace was expecting that. The DI looked a little bit sus, and now Ice already starting to bring it back. Only 75% on him as he's up against Maze. He's been winning every neutral interaction. Mace is just having such a hard time on this Incineroar, contesting these swords from Ice. He doesn't have a way in past these disjointed hitboxes. Every time he goes for it, he just gets out priority, and it looks really brutal. But both players kind of just reset to neutral here, both fish for moves. It's going to be Ice once again, finding the opening. Not quite going to find the tech chase though, but Maze just really needs to slow things down, make Ice walk up to him, press the shield button, block a laggy move, and then get a punish. Incineroar is a grappler character. You need to have your opponent walk up to you. But when you're not even trying to block the ledge, you're just throwing out forward smashes in the middle of nowhere. It kind of feels like he's just messing around. And yeah, like both players know it's over, but Maze is really just goofing off a little bit. He's committing to having a fun time with it. And there goes his stock. We see the pit, the dark pit here, Ice, just further expanding his lead. Maze really not finding any solid connections, only stray hits, and he did get the one gimp at the start, but other than that, he can't find any combos, he can't find any really solid connections, no kill confirms. He goes for the read, but he's a little late on the time and very close to having the kill there. The back throw certainly would have killed for Maze, as he finally finds the dash attack and evens things up a little bit, but given the deficit Ice started with, and from there, Ice has been playing incredibly clean. 44% on Maze, things looking relatively even, means that Ice is in the lead here. But we do see Maze spacing these forward airs, getting some things back for himself. Ice, seeing that, slowing it down, firing the bow a little bit, spacing it out a little bit more. We see Maze take my advice a little bit. He's playing a little slower, waiting for Ice to walk up, sort of dash dancing around in center stage, throwing out some random hitboxes, but trying to catch Ice on the approach is what he needs to do. And there it is, Ice off stage. Maze runs to the opposite side of the stage, doesn't even want to edge guard. I know it's risky, but you gotta go for it. You gotta go for the ledge shot. That's how you make the plays happen. And Ice going to find this confirm, huge opportunity for him. Incineroar, terrible character off stage, but Ice not going to go deep for it. And now it's dead even. Both players at 90. A solid hit for Incineroar could do it, but Dark Pit not lacking kill power that much of his own. A back throw not going to kill it yet, but a little closer to the ledge, and it could be it. Maze rolling the C-stick around a little bit as Ice looks to get it. This is what ended the first stock, and it's going to end the last stock as well. Ice coming out 1-0, but not convincing. given how that started, it felt like it should have been a little bit cleaner, but he pulls it out in the end. Looking into game 2, I want to see more neutral from Ice. Just play it solid, play it safe. Maze really looks like he's just goofing around a little bit, and if you just make him walk up to you, you can make it quick, you can make it clean. As far as counter picks go, it's going to be the Incineroar counter picking the Pit. And I'm going to be honest, I do not see a lot of Incineroar, so I'm not actually sure what his counter picks are, but I think he would probably be a pretty big fan of Triplats just because they help your landings so much. Incineroar is really, really bad at landing, and when you have that Triplat layout, it gives you disjointed places to land. You can start on the top platform, fight around a little bit, your opponent can fish for you, but if you manage to get your feet solidly on that top platform, you can move down in layers instead of just being on a flat stage like FD, where the pick can just stay under you and fish for up airs the entire time. So I expect to see bans like Final Destination, like Kalos, and then I want a stage, or not FD and Kalos, sorry. I would expect to see Battlefield. Oh, we're switching to Mario. Okay, great. That changes things completely. Not really, though, I guess. Mario also loves his triplats. Mario is known for how insanely powerful his ladder combos are, but it looks like the triplats were banned, if I had to assume, by Ice here. No surprise, Smashville, a much more claustrophobic stage, very small. It means that there's not a whole lot of room for Ice to play against Maze's aggressive playstyle, and when you switch to the Mario for the matchup, he's going to do a lot better against these disjoints, and it's going to be a lot better for Maze here. Maze already, as I said, much better matchup, getting out to this early start, finding great confirms here. And this aggressive playstyle works so much better when you're on a character like Mario, who wants to be boxing, he wants to be getting in his opponent's face. Out to this early 9% lead. He finds some small openings, gets a back air, and here we have a big ledge trap situation, but the side B from Dark Pit makes it back on stage. Completely even here, only a little bit percent separating players, but Ice opens it up a little bit here. Maze off stage, looking to get back onto center, now looking to pressure Ice. Both players getting back. A great down smash. Two great shots for Ice is going to give Maze, oh my god, incredibly clean gameplay from Ice here. Puts him in a solid lead, only 79% on his name. Mario, not known for his early kill power, means that Ice is going to have a great chance to build up some extra credit unless Maze can find something really crazy here. But it doesn't look like he will. Great neutral airs, great solid neutral spacing from Ice. Keeps things even, keeps it getting more and more in his favor. Neutral just, he got that lead, and now Maze just doesn't really know how to make it happen. He doesn't know how to come back against Ice here. Every time he tries to get in on him in neutral, he gets stuffed out. Not even finding the combo off of his down throw means that Ice is going to keep racking on this extra credit. Now only 40% away from being an entire stock ahead. Ice really just not stopping the brakes, keeping on the pressure. The electroshock even from ledge, the bold opportunity, but it's paying off more and more. Ice completely lapping Maze here, down only 121, down only 20% on the stock, but an entire stock ahead means that a solid hit from either player will take the stock, but Ice has so much more luxury to work with. We see Maze gets this stock here, but he is still so behind, still down 131. We would need to see an incredibly clean stock, a 0 to death even from Maze to even things up, but with how this is going, we might actually be watching it happen. Maze is finding an insane combo, 4 up airs into the forward smash. Oh my god, it's actually the 0 to death. I didn't think it would happen. Maze finds the conversion on Ice. The insane reads, the up airs to the forward smash, and now all of a sudden, after being ahead the entire time, Ice is behind. Maze is keeping it even, but Ice just needs to slow things down. Go back to the neutral. Get those favorable exchanges. Use your swords to win on priority, and he'll be okay. But he's just getting in his own head a little bit, trying to approach. He knows he's behind. He wants to take this stock, but you're most predictable when you're going for the kill. And Ice, that's all he wants, and Maze is exploiting it. He's running away. He's making Ice approach. And when he forces Ice to approach, go for these down smashes. You see, he's fishing so hard, and he's getting punished for it. They're not connecting. They're so obvious. But he's hitting the punishes, already 35% on him. Kind of surprised he's not at more, but Maze just keeping away from Ice, not giving him any openings until there, and now Ice evens it back up. I'm sure the pressure is going to be lifted off him a little bit. He's going to find more opportunities to play. Air dodging twice off stage with Pit's recovery is that good. He's able to make it back, and now we see a little bit more calm play, spacing the neutral airs. Maybe not only neutral airs, you know, keep it a little less predictable, but just reverting back to neutral for Ice. He needs to slow down, make Maze come into him, make Maze walk into his swords, get the value that got him that lead he had in the first place, and it'll be okay. But the electroshock is not it. Ice just needs to stop panicking. I think he thinks, I had the lead, I need to make it happen, but he just needs to calm down a little bit. Yeah, here we go. He's playing for the ledge trap. Great. Playing for neutral, just trying to close it out. Great back air. He has Maze off stage, trying to keep him at the ledge. Great conversion. Maze is eating so much damage until he finally makes it back on the stage. He's already at 107, 113 now. A solid hit of back air, and up air will be doing it for Ice, and there's a lot of room for Maze to still have to get through in order to be putting Ice into that kill percent. Ice really looking to close it out here, but he just needs that last hit, and we saw in the last stock when Mario's at this 142, when Ice is so high percent, Ice gets really predictable, and that could be his downfall. We saw Maze just pull off that 0-death combo. It's completely doable for him. It's one solid F smash, one solid lead from being back in Maze's favor like that, but that's not the sweet spot, so Ice lives another day. But now the up smash, not quite it either, but both players really getting their way into kill percent, especially once Rage is on the line, means that this game, it's been completely back and forth, but it's going to be the next big play when both players just staring at each other. Maze blinks first, but he's not punished for it, and the Trump back air means that Maze will complete his comeback 1-1 in this last set. And Mississippi's Maze will keep the hope alive. Nothing really on the line. No victories on the line, but the pride. Mississippi rolled Colorado in this match. 3 set wins to 1 so far, and they want to keep the streak happening. Maze is trying to hold it down, trying to make it happen for his team, and he just needs to close it out here in this final game 3 of set 5, the final game of the match. Maze versus Ice. It's all on Maze to close it out, keep the pride of Mississippi rolling, or for Colorado to get some points back in their favor, get some scraps for themselves, say, we lost, but we didn't lose that bad, and try and save some face here. We're playing for swag, we're playing for reputation, and both of these players are showing up to play. The Mario picks seem to go really well. I think Maze wants to play that Incineroar, but the matchup is too bad, and I think he realizes it. I would be surprised if he swapped off of Mario for this game 3. I'd also be kind of surprised if Ice swapped off of Pit. Pit players are definitely known to be very much only Pit players. I feel like Pit's very rarely a secondary. But we see Maze going on to the Piranha play. Maybe, honestly, knowing nothing's on the line, he might be on the land club. I can't tell, but that very well could be a possibility. We'll have to see how it plays out here. But Ice against Maze, some really solid early spacing from Maze, just throwing out the zoning, intimidating back airs. Gonna get punished for it, and we see Ice throwing out these arrows. Both players kind of content to play for zoning here. So much damage from the Poison Cloud. 16 off of that is a really great amount to be getting. But a solid neutral conversion from Ice. And I really want to see Ice going off stage to punish Maze's recovery this game. Piranha Plant has an incredibly exploitable recovery, and that falling neutral air off stage for Ice, for that dark pit, really can punish it very hard. So I think that's where a lot of the value in the matchup will come from, but Maze not really looking too comfortable on this Piranha Plant means that he's going to be starting off at a very early deficit here, down almost 100%, even more. Trying to get back on the stage, not quite getting the upbeat angle. Ice doesn't even need to hit the edge guard, and only 16% on Ice as he has this first stock lead means he is solidly positioned to redeem Colorado a little bit here. Getting some even better neutral now. Where was this Ice last game? His neutral is looking really, really great for Ice. Maze just looks like he has absolutely no way to get in on Ice here. Not quite able to find any openings. Already down 20%, 13% on the second stock. A really greedy electroshock, not quite getting the armor through that forward smash. It means that Maze will even up the stop count, but still, he is down so much percent here, 73. And unlike Mario, Piranha Plant is not known as an incredibly explosive, combo-heavy character who can rack on that incredible amount of percent. And Ice, even if Piranha Plant is not giving Maze the openings to let it happen. Once again, we see Maze offstage eating these arrows. It should be a pretty easy edge guard for Ice, but he doesn't go for it. He doesn't want to risk anything when he's so far ahead here. Ice just playing calm, playing safe. Making Maze come to him is really important when the Piranha Plant doesn't have those great tools to approach with. And now Ice up a full stock once again, a little less than a full stock, eating some percent here, but it is his chance to build that extra credit, get that lead going further and further for himself as he just keeps fighting Maze here, resetting neutral, building up more and more percent, building up his lead, putting Maze in a worse situation. No real great edge guards coming in for Maze, but as I say that, the spike ball coming in, and the backer closes the stock, looking a lot like game one. Maze coming to run it back here, but Ice does not want to let that happen. Great follow-up to chase the tech there. Means that 74% will be on Maze here. A couple arrows landing even, 80% on Maze. Ice still sitting pretty at 0. He doesn't want to choke it out. He wants to prove himself, and he's going to hit the down throw back air. It won't quite kill, though, getting a little baited by the kill screen. Not looking for the edge guard. Could be it, but the forward smash will seal the deal, and Ice will get a point or two back in Colorado's favor, bringing us to a final score 11-18, Mississippi State University winning the match. Congratulations to their player. Especially to Apparatus, bringing it back. Really my player of the set for this match. Just a really great comeback, a really great showing from him, and really impressive games overall. This was a great set to watch. We saw some really close matches, and we saw some more one-sided ones that were really fun examples of players really showcasing their mastery over their characters. But with that said, we do have University of Colorado losing to Mississippi State University. Congratulations to them. Coming up next, we have Marist versus Ryder. I will be doing that one solo for a little bit, and then we are going to be having my co-host coming back sometime during that, so make sure you stay tuned. If you liked the casting, if you want to go over and support me on Twitter, my @ is @toxic_gerbil, and make sure you follow the channel. Make sure you follow @EGF, @official EGF on Twitter. We work really hard to bring you this season. It's a really great time. I hope all of you enjoy it. I certainly enjoy doing it, and I really appreciate anyone who's having a great time, showing their support, following us all on Twitter, and tuning in. We really love doing this production. We really love bringing it to you guys, the viewers. We really love doing it for all the players here, bringing us a great show. So It's just a great production, and showing your sport helps us keep moving it forward. But other than that, we are going to go to a quick break while we prepare for Marist College versus Ryder. So stay tuned. That's going to be an exciting matchup.